Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Mary D Talk Show. I'm so glad you could make it. I know on this another beautiful Monday, but it is a beautiful Monday. It's really just gorgeous outside. It's beautiful. This is what I say. It's a good day to be alive. A good day to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, I almost lost you guys on that one. My light went over. Sorry about that. But I wanted to just welcome you to the show, welcome you back. If you're a live viewer or you're a replay viewer, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're glad to have you. I'd like for those of you that will go to YouTube and like and subscribe to this channel. That means you'll always be notified every time we go live. And I know, so I'm seeing here, I see a couple of comments here. I like to first, I say introduce you or show you some of the books. I always go over those with you of our authors. We have a new book coming out too. I don't know if I shared this with the audience. First, let me just say this. We have a new sponsor for the show. It's IEHP. IEHP. The first one that can put in what IEHP means will receive a gift from us. So if you can put that in the chat, what IEHP means, then oh, what happened? Oh, then you'll receive a gift from the chat during that time. Okay. So if you know what IEH means, you can put that in and you gift. Next, this is a book from one of our authors. It's from Fayette. Why is Little Faye So Happy? This is her book. Next, we have a book from another author, Justin Lowe. It is this book. And it is My Cat is a Spy. Then we have the book Stuck in the Elevator. This is for ages, what is this? Ages 2 to, I want to say 2 to 6. That's the age group. Then we have a book, some of you familiar with, Peyton the Pink Whale with the Yellow Tail. So that one. And that, I said last, but it really isn't last. We have Saying No Nicely. For those of you that, if you have struggled at always saying no, which many of you know I struggled with for years, with saying no. How do I say no without hurting people's feelings? Then that's where this book came about. And this is a new one. This is a new one coming. And those of you on the email list, if you're not on the email list, you go to marydwelch.com, join the email list, and you will get the emails when any of the books come out. This is Justin Lawson too. Now, this is a more serious book. Some of you are familiar with this book. Let me show you this. This is the one, Save Your Home from Probate. This book right here. Why this came out is because this is what I always say. I call probate the devil. I said probate is the devil. And those of you that have ever been through probate know what I'm talking about. It is the devil. So that's how I look at it. So I end up writing a book, Save Your Home from Probate, behind that. So, ladies, gentlemen, just want to go over those with you. And before I introduce you to our wonderful guest for today, because I'm really excited about this lady. Hold on. So I want to make sure. I want to introduce you to her, to our community here. And before I do, I want to say something about the messages. Oh, that were here. And I'm looking at my page here. Hold on here. Whoa. And I want to, I don't know what's going on with my page. Here we go. But I will find out. Now my mouse is not working. But anyway, why don't I do this? Bring in our guest for today. I'm just trying to see the page I'm trying to reduce it and it's not letting me. And I don't know why. Don't know what's going on with me. So give me just a moment. I'm talking to my husband through the because he's usually watching. Oliver, I need you to come into the studio quickly, please. I know that I don't know if he's on or not, but I need him to come in. So I need his help for a second. I don't know if you're available, Oliver. Are you there, Oliver? I think he's in the other room. Okay. There's my mouse. There, I'm back. Okay. I said, I know I should be right there, but it happens. Okay. Now, oh, let me tell you, ladies, gentlemen, as we all know, this Thursday is Thanksgiving. I wanted to take a second before I even introduce our guests because I get, as many of you know, I get carried away, and I wanted to let everyone know: be safe, be careful, don't take anything for granted. People drive. I was on the road last night. I'll tell you how sick. Last night, I was on the road coming back from an event, and it was a drunk driver. I don't know the last time I've seen a drunk driver, but all I wanted to do is get away from him because all I kept thinking was he has an accident waiting to happen. So I'm just going to caution all of you: the drunk drivers are out there. I just experienced one last night. He was waving across the road, doing all these crazy that anybody could get killed. Truly, it's very real. So seriously, take the time, be careful. It's not a joke. People are out here and they're drinking and driving. So now I'm off my soapbox. So I'm going to introduce to you our special guest for today. And before we do, let me say hi to all the people. I'll wait till she comes in after I do her introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my honor. Our special guest for today is Clarissa Yvonne Wade. She is the founder and chief executive officer. Clarissa began her entrepreneurial career in 2018, establishing MG Investments LLC as a real estate investment company. In this role, Clarissa purchases property for the purpose of renovating for resale or rental. She focuses on a unique business strategy whose purpose is to acquire rental properties to house women leaving a violent environment or high-risk population without an effective means of housing accommodations. Her belief is, quote unquote, stable housing is the foundation for a stable community. She also believes it offers stable educational opportunities for children, provides opportunity to seek out gainful employment, and improves rental history to take advantage of home purchasing opportunities. In addition to that, Clarissa, she volunteers in her community. She provides workshops. She is a member of AKA Sorority. Hello, AKA Sorority Sister. So this is your sister out here. I'm really excited about that. She does so many things. And then come to find out, Clarissa and I were neighbors and didn't even know it. Her mother lives literally across the street for years, but we didn't know that I even knew her. I tell you, it's a small world. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you Clarissa Wade. Clarissa, are you there? You see you coming in. I see you, but I don't see you coming in. Let's see. Don't worry, Clarissa. We're gonna figure this thing out. There you go.
Hello. It's so good to see everyone. Hello.
I tell you. Well, we have comments. You came in to comments. No, okay, that's a good thing. I know. But I look on the comments section. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Hold on. I want to make sure I start at the top. I see Yvonne. I'll go with Yvonne. Let's see, Yvonne. Every day above ground is a good day. Thank you, Yvonne. I agree with you on that. I'm trying to. Yeah. I don't know why I'm having trouble with my mouse today, and it happens. These things. Hold. Let me see if I can put you in there. There you go. Every day above ground is a good day. Thank you, Yvonne. And how are you, Yvonne? Then we have Richard Nichols. Richard says, "Happy Monday, Mary. Happy Monday, Richard." And we have Kelly Henry. Oh, Kelly, did yours go in, Kelly? Uh-oh. Kelly says, "Hello, Mary." Hi, Kelly. Nice to see you. And then Kelly says, "Oh, Kelly won." I said, "Who's the first one to say what is IEHP?" Kelly, you get the gift. I'll make sure you get it. And it is Inland Empire Health Plan. They are now one of the sponsors for our show. So I'm really excited about that. And you said what did you say on here, Kelly? Kelly says, you have stuck in the elevator. For those of you who don't know, stuck in the elevator is a true story. My husband and I were in South America and we got stuck in their elevator in South America. So it's true. And we have Sheila. Hello, Mary. I say hello, Mary. Hello, Sheila. And our next comment, we have Jeanette McGee. Hello, Mary. Have a blessed and thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies, gentlemen, now we're going to have our wonderful guest here. I like for Clarissa to tell us a little bit about herself.
Okay. Well, I'd love to tell you, yes, Eta Nu Omega, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sororitas. I'm very proud to be a part of that sorority. But to tell you a little bit more about myself,
Hmm.
I started out my career with the state of California. I worked for the state of California for almost 24 years. And then I decided I was going to do a career change. My husband and I had a conversation. I retired from the state and I decided I wanted to start my own business, but I wasn't sure what kind of business to start.
Hmm.
So, one of the things that impacted me when I was a young child was I started to, there was a woman that was a friend of my mother's, and she was in a situation where it was a violent situation for her.
Wow.
And so I just remember some things that, as a child, you get vague memories that kind of slip through. And I
Hmm.
just remember that being a very traumatic situation. And
Wow.
back in those days, they really didn't have any place to go. So they always at times, they had to end up going back into the situation
Mhm.
with them and their children. So that even though I took a job with the state, I
Right.
decided at some point I wanted to do something about that. And
Wow.
so I became a member of an organization, NCBW, that would oftentimes donate to women's shelters. So I got connected with the women's shelters in that respect. And I said that they only have temporary shelters. What do the women do after they're out of the shelters? They
Right.
can't go back. So trying to connect the dots all the way
Right.
through.
Right.
And so I wanted to not just give temporary housing, I wanted these women and children to have permanent housing. So once
Mm.
you got settled, get settled into communities so that you and your children can have stable education. They're going to one school, they're not floating around to different schools. I
Wow.
wanted to be able to have a stable home. So, because without a home, it's hard to find a job. If you don't
Yeah,
have an address, it's hard to get a job.
that's
And
right.
then, of course, when you're leaving an environment that's not optimal, a violent environment in particular, you oftentimes ruin your rental history because you're breaking
Mm.
leases, you're breaking your rental agreements, you're
Yeah.
losing your mortgages. So it messes up your credit history.
Wow.
So I was like, if I could be in a position to be able to give them a stable housing environment, then taking into account that yes, they may have had some dings on their rental history because they were trying to better themselves and get out of a situation,
Right.
then give them a even playing field to be able to start their lives back over again and get stable. So that
Right.
stuck with me and so I was like, how do I do that? And so
Wow.
not knowing anything about real estate, not knowing anything about how this works, I started learning how to do real estate. I learned about what it takes, some of the terminology,
Hmm.
how to converse with individuals who are very versed in the real estate, how to be able to negotiate things along those lines. And so I started learning those things so that I can, because my ultimate goal is to be able to have housing that they don't have to get out of in 18 months or have to get out in 90 days. They can stay
Right.
there and have be a stable part of the community and rebuild their lives.
That is so. Even that. Think about it. You personally were not affected by this. In other words, your family was stable. It was in one location. It was
Yeah.
all the things that you saw another family wasn't,
Yes.
and that alone affected your life. That's huge. That's huge because housing. Well, you live in the Northern California, and I'm compared to where our housing is in Southern California, which ours is not cheap. Yours is astronomical. Let me just say it. The comparison is what I know about it. It is just like I can't even imagine housing in Northern California. I literally cannot imagine what it is to rather rent. How do people survive to even rent nowadays? Renting a room is like $1,000 a month.
Or more. It could be potentially more. I know in Sacramento actually is pretty comparable to Riverside County where you are in terms of the pricing, but
Hmm.
literally an hour outside of me is unrealistic. I mean, the pricing in San Francisco and the Bay Area is really high. I mean, a three-bedroom house in San Jose could go for over a million very easily. So, but Sacramento is still pretty reasonable. I mean, when I say reasonable for California,
Right.
California, the median price for Sacramento probably is about between 5 and 550. So it's still pretty high. So you have to be able to know how to negotiate and to
Mm,
be able to work with individuals. And sometimes I'll be honest, even as an investor, it's hard to find housing in
yeah,
California,
yeah,
but you start working with the county and they'll, it's interesting because one thing I didn't talk about yet was the former foster youth and how I got connected with that.
right,
I actually went to Sacramento County Housing Office, Housing Authority, and I said, I want to work with you guys. I want to be able to do this. I'm trying to figure out how. So I was getting myself, that's part of my education when I first
right.
started.
Uh-huh.
And the director that I talked to at the time, he said, Clarissa, yes, the population that you were considering, which was the women, is an extremely important population, and I want to be able to help you with that population. Would you consider helping this other population? I said, well, what is it? He said, the former foster youth. Their biggest
Wow.
homeless population is former foster youth. A lot of former foster youth who are turning 18 years old get kicked out of their foster home
Right,
and
right.
without any place to go at all. So they oftentimes end up on the street and living in, encampments because they have nowhere to go. So if I
Wow.
could come up with a program to kind of help stabilize them, so I added them as a result because that pricked my heart. So I'm like, here's an 18-year-old kid who just turned 18, just got out of high school, and now has no option for college or anything like that because he just got kicked out without any resources or information.
Wow. Now, see,
So
maybe you can help me with this. I've heard that if you're in foster care, I mean to interrupt you though. They
that's
would
okay.
get, they would get, and I could be wrong, but they would get help as well if they decide to go to community college. If they
Yes.
would get, and if they even go to a state university, that's what I've been told.
No, that is true. That is very true if they know about it. But
That's the key.
oftentimes, when they leave at 18, when their foster parents kick them out, if they don't know what resources are available to them,
Right.
or if they don't have an address, how are they going to be able to find out about these services that are free for them? It's not only just educational services,
Right.
but medical. They also get Medicare. They also
Mm,
they get help with housing vouchers. They also get help with all these things, but oftentimes they don't know those resources are available to them to wrap around and help them kind of get prepared for
wow.
adulthood,
Uh-huh.
all because at 18 they got kicked out of their housing or whatever when their foster parent was no longer able to keep them.
I
So
oh somebody has to help. I like I said, I knew about it probably because I was in the educational system. That's
yes.
probably why I knew. But I know some foster children that did take advantage of it, but I didn't know that all of them are not aware of it.
Oh no, not all of them are. I mean, they really, all of them don't know if their foster parent is good, and there are a lot of great foster parents who
Right,
make sure these kids know, and some of them even keep the kids in their home after 18.
right,
And so for those, I applaud. I think those are the kind of foster parents that we need in this community. But in the event that the child can't stay in the home for whatever reason, I'm not
right,
saying there's a reason at all, but with whatever reason,
right,
if they can't stay in the home and they don't get that information, they can, if they don't know to go to a family counseling center, if they don't know to go to whatever, and they end up on the streets, how are they going to get this information? And if they don't have an address, how are you going to sign up for school? Because the first thing they ask you for is an address.
that's right, that's right. I
So,
know. I worked with a lady. She was homeless, and
yeah.
she didn't. We went to. I took her to social. We said it's social services. I think it was about 4 hours. And
Hmm.
when we got to the lady, and nothing against social services, by the way, somebody think I'm, blasting social services, but we did.
No.
We sat there and we waited because I knew she was eligible for the EBT card, or what we used to call food stamps.
Yes.
And when we went there, the lady asked me, she said, "What is your relationship to this home? The lady that's homeless?" And I said, "I'm her friend."
Hmm.
The lady said to me, she said, "She's homeless. How are you gonna be her friend?"
Oh my God.
I am not kidding. She said, I was sitting there going, "You mean because you're homeless, you don't have friends?" I said, "I am her friend. I'm here to advocate for her, really." And
Yeah.
she started shaking. She was so nervous from this. But I wanted to help her because I knew she ended up getting the EBT card
Hmm.
only because I have an address.
Wow. And
That's
she
why
was able to use your address, huh?
I let her use my address
Yeah.
because I kept thinking, is that all she needs? But see, to me, I didn't think it as a big deal. It's a huge deal if you don't have one.
You'd be surprised how much an address drives your life.
It
Without
does.
an address, it drives your life. If you don't have an address, even a PO box, something to send your mail to,
Yeah.
it really stifles you from being able to be to function in life, to have stability, to
Yeah.
and you think there's women out there, or there's even men out there. I don't want to just say women, because there's I just I'm changing my terms from women to parents, because there are some male parents out there who
Hmm.
have children also, who are trying to make it and having the same situation, because it's not just women who leave
Right.
violent environments. There are men who are oftentimes leaving a violent environment as well. So I don't what I started out saying women, I'm learning and I'm growing, and my business is growing, and I'm finding out that there are male parents out there with their children who are also trying to who are living in their cars, and because they can't find stable housing.
Wow.
And my thing is, and if you notice, my theme all around is getting back to the children. I go through I want to help the parents to help the children. I want to help the children to get to stable housing. I really want to make sure that families are stable. And that's what my heart is.
Well, I know too. I've heard of heard word Section 8, but I know that's not the only. And for those of you that are not familiar with Section 8, it is, and you can correct me about this, a voucher that you get that they qualify for. They will pay a portion of your rent, and sometimes I don't think it's the entire amount. I think there's something they do ask you to pay on it. Let's say it could be a $1,200 a month rent, and they're asking you to pay 200 on a but the actual rent for the apartment or the housing is 1,200. Is that about right?
It can be. It actually can be better than that, because depending on the amount of your income,
Hmm.
they can actually pay 100% of your rent.
Wow.
So it just depends on your financial situation, and it
Mhm.
depends on your living situation. So it really depends. And so if a person is struggling with paying their mortgage, or paying their rent, or whatever it is,
Right.
there's it's it'd be a good idea to at least check into it,
Okay.
because depending on the situation, you may even get a portion, like you said, a partial, where you
Right.
may pay half and they pay half, or they pay 70 and you pay 30, or they pay 90 and you pay 10. It could be
Right.
anything. Or they can, in some cases, they do pay 100% because your income is that low. Because California is very hard, it is very expensive to rent. I was looking at the average rent, what, they got 1,500 for a one bedroom. That's a lot for some
Yeah.
people, especially if you're making 15, $16 an hour.
Right. Right. Oh, it's unreal. We have some comments though. We want to go to
Okay.
our audience. We want to first thank you, audience, for your comments coming in. I see Kelly says Kelly wants to make sure she welcomes you to the show. Here she goes.
Mhm.
She said, "Hi, Miss Sway." Hi, Kelly. And then we have here, Ruth Wimber. Hi, Ruth. Ada Nun Omega of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority is so proud of our sister. Hello, Ruth. I think I tell you, I knew your sisters would support you. Hi,
Yes,
David.
always. I appreciate them.
Oh, David says hi to you both.
Hi,
Good to
David.
see you, David. And then we have Denise. It looks like Denise. Remember, did I say it right? Denise said, I'm so proud of my sorority sister. Oh, that's nice of you,
Thank you
Denise.
guys for joining.
Next, we have Jeanette says, congratulations, Clarissa, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. God's safety, peace, and protection. I,
Thank you.
I believe, oh, thank you,
I
Jeanette.
received that. Thank
I
you.
do too. Thank you for that. And she said, and an awesome IEHP. I tell, isn't it nice? They're supporting. They're another sponsor. And if anyone else like to sponsor the show, give me a call. The number's right there, 619-669-8603. You can ask for, I have two assistants that work with me. Vanessa is one, and Jocelyn is the other one. So those are the two. And I definitely, any of you, if you have a corporation that like to sponsor, we welcome it. We welcome it. So But I'm impressed, Clarissa, because well, let me tell you what my son says in California. He doesn't live here. He said, "Mom, you guys pay for the air in California."
Yes.
He said, "California has gotten outrageous to live, and unfortunately, my children have left the state and gone other places in the country because they said they can't afford to live here."
Yeah. Yeah, that is so true. And the beauty of having an LLC is that you have the ability to work not only in California, but I'm actually looking for property, not just in California, because
Hmm.
I do want to help the California population because that was where I was born and raised. I'm a Californian my whole life and will always be a Californian no matter where I am. But I do
Right.
live in Sacramento and I love California. But I
Okay.
am looking for property in Detroit, Michigan, as a matter of fact, right now,
Okay.
to do this, to duplicate this process in that area. And I'm open to other parts of the country because I think I spoke with a young lady, and she told me the same problem that I was addressing here in California, they're having that same problem in South Carolina. And I was like,
Okay.
wow. So it's not,
Wow.
you don't think about how big the issues of
Yep.
the issues for former foster youth and for women or parents, excuse me, got to get that right. Parents leaving that type of environment is a nationwide issue.
Oh
And
yeah.
so this is something that can be duplicated, not just here in
Uh-huh.
California, but I'd like to start it in Detroit, in Michigan, because the market is very inexpensive right now, and that's the reason I picked Detroit because it's an inexpensive market. But there's other markets that I'm very interested in working with as well,
Right.
because I think it lends itself to us being able to rebuild our community,
Right.
number one, rebuild
Right.
our community and rebuild America's community as a whole. Because
I agree.
as we get stable as our community, then we can stabilize the rest of the country. That's
I
how I look
agree.
at it. We're the foundation.
Well, I admire you for the business. I mean, that because this is not something you had to do. This is something that's a passion for you to do to help
Yeah.
the community, and it really, there are lives being saved here. I can share that with you without a doubt. We have, this is one of our constant. I mean, when I tell you the show does not go on unless Gwendolyn Stringer's there. She's been at the very first show. Hi, Gwen.
All
she
right.
says she said she's late chiming in. Hello, ladies. I tell you, this is a cousin. She's actually in the Bay Area. She's up your way.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's in. I want to say. Well, you have to tell me, Gwen. I know she was raised in Foster City. I think it was Foster City, California. So, but she may be. I don't know. I think she's near San Francisco.
Yeah.
So,
Foster City is near San Francisco.
okay, that's what she was raised. And here's Oliver. She said this is Oliver's executive producer of the show. Those of you know that's my husband. And he says, "Hello, Miss Wade. Welcome to the show. Thank you for your wealth of knowledge and information in this field." All right, Oliver. And I want to make sure I get Elaine. And Elaine is another. These are when I tell you supporters, they're at every show. Thank you, Elaine. How are you? And she says, "Hello, Miss Wade and Mary Clarissa, D9 soror from Sigma Gamma Rho sorority incorporated." And she said,
I see you, Sigma Gamma Rho.
and
I
then she's
see you.
what is it? Beta Phi Sigma alumni chapter.
Mhm.
Riverside is proud of you too. Oh, that's sweet of
Thank
you.
you.
What I like is how
I was raised in Riverside, went to Riverside Poly High School. I had to put that out there. So the
yeah.
Riverside Polyites, but I live in Sacramento now. So, and I got a little bit of Bay Area in me. I went to San Jose State and graduated from there. So I got a little bit of all of California, but you see, I stayed in California.
You, in other words, you love California. No
I
matter
love
what.
California.
Oh, okay. Oh, Gwen says. Here's what Gwen said. She said she is from Tracy, but in
Oh,
Sacramento, but in
railroad.
Sacramento twice,
Mhm.
twice a week, watching grandbabies. That's what.
Okay.
But she's in Tracy. So
It's
you
just
know, I
not
know
far
you
from
know.
me at all. From
That's what
not
she
far
said.
from me at all. Hmm.
Yeah, I know. I knew it was that way. But I don't know all the ins and outs of when you go up north. But yes, but I would say, in addition to your LLC, your company, I know you also volunteer with 100 Black women. Is that correct?
Yeah, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. I volunteer. I have been a member of that organization for 10 years. I did a lot. They do a lot of with helping youth, female, young girls with their fostering hope program. I'm part of the
Right,
Sacramento chapter. And of course, I am a volunteer. You know, I'm going to have to come back to that because I'm going to always come back to that.
right,
I am
right,
a volunteer and a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
right.
Mhm. and
Well,
it's
I now you and that
this has
you,
been a wonderful addition to my life, being a part of that, being a part of the sorority, and being able to, help. They do a lot with giving out backpacks and blankets and tents during the Christmas season. So, if anybody wants to donate, talk to Mary, and we'll coordinate something to give
yeah.
out some backpacks. And because we get, like I said, we make sure we take care of the homeless population. So that's another connection to the homeless population that is very important for me as well.
All right. I know. When you also with the 100 Black women, I think we were talking about you give workshops for them.
Yeah, I coordinated the workshops. I didn't
Okay.
actually provide the workshops. What I did was I coordinated financial literacy financial literacy workshops.
Uh
I've
huh.
also done workshops in regards to community involvement, things like that. I was a scholarship chair, so I made sure that getting the scholarships out and increasing the amount of scholarships into the community to the young students who are going off to college. We have I'm one of the fundraisers for the organization to help us keep some of our programs going. So there was a lot of programs that we do with the National
Wow.
Coalition of 100 Black Women. So that was a very busy time for me, and that's still a busy time for me.
I know you sound like you are really. When I tell, like people always tease me about being busy. You're busy. You have a lot going on. Because
But
I
it's
know we
fun.
mentioned. I think you were looking in the Redlands area for property.
Yes, and I was looking in the Redlands area. I'm looking in actually in an empire as a whole, but I was looking specifically in Redlands to find some property. One of the things I would like to do, and I would like to get some actually, if anybody's out there who knows anything about apartment complexes or motels that need to be renovated, I'm looking to use those because those are the perfect types of properties, especially the motels for former foster youth. And let me just kind of tell you what my grand idea. Let me know what you think. Tell me what you
Okay.
guys think.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what I see. I see you get a motel or a hotel, an old hotel, like the old ones that have the kitchenette in them,
Uh huh.
renovate it, and then you can put the former foster youth as they're coming out of their homes into one of the rooms as to be their home. And then
Right.
but you still have the bottom floor of that, the registration area.
Uh huh.
Use that for case managers, and the case managers can be on site as well as having security in the office on site to protect them.
Wow.
So I was like, that would be the perfect location to
Right.
not only house the former foster youth,
Uh
but
huh.
also give them a case manager so they make sure that they're going to school or they're going to work. They're not going to just be sitting up there and all day doing nothing.
Right.
The case manager can make sure that they have the resources they need to be
Right.
able to go to school, to be able to go to work, to be able to get their medical attention that they need, and that's all on site. So that's like my big dream. That would be like the coup de grace for me.
I think it's. It sounds like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna
I
tell you
love it. That's
because
the coup de grace for me.
yes, you keep putting it out in the universe, and somebody's gonna know. Somebody's gonna know. So it's as we talked about earlier. We're only. It used to be. I think it was 6. Was it 7 degrees away? Now I think it's 2 from
Yeah,
anybody you want to meet in the. Think about this. The world. You're right
yeah,
there with all
yeah.
this social media. It doesn't take a lot. I think
Mm-mm.
it used to be a big deal. No, not anymore. You can tweet them, you can DM them, you can do so many things to get in touch with anyone. But as you, I'm gonna stand in agreement with you on this.
Thank you.
I mean that the
Thank
apartment
you.
or hotel, what it can happen. Somebody out there has land that they can donate. I don't
Yeah.
know who. Somebody, we're talking to all y'all out there in the audience.
They say there's only 2 degrees of separation. If it's not you, it's two people down from where you know. So
There you go.
If somebody's looking to get rid of it, Clarissa's willing to take it.
All right, and do
Because
something.
I know what to do with it.
Yes. And we have other comments here. Richard Nichols says, listen at you guys now. This divine line. During Richard's Omega Psi Phi fraternity and corporate in the house. Hello, Richard. We had dinner with the AKAs from Culver City on Saturday. Welcome, my AKA sister. Oh,
thank you, Richard.
Oh, and that's where we met. We met at the Omega's dinner.
Yes, we did. We went to the Purple and Gold Ball.
Sure did.
Had a great time, by the way.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. And this is Jeanette. Wonderful. Jeanette said, is there any other place for a singer that you know of that needs housing that may be in a domestic violence? Because I am definitely looking for a place of my own. Oh, Jeanette.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So you said you're not necessarily, there's always places. Let's see. I know housing is really hard to find. If you're in a place right now, hold tight. Don't move just yet. It depends on what market you're looking in. If you're looking to rent someplace, there are programs that depend. Most times people are trying to help populations that are not, that are having some housing difficulties. If you're having housing difficulties, my first thing would be to talk to the housing authority and talk to them about Section 8. People often they're stigmatized by that and say, I don't want to
right.
Do it, because if you're already in one place, they can help you maintain your housing. That's the big thing, is you want to maintain the housing that you're in. If you don't have housing right now, then I would definitely still contact them, because if they can help you get a voucher, they can also help you pay for stable housing. So I'm not saying that paying is the only issue, but knowing how the rents are in California and knowing how high they are, that tends to be the biggest issue. One other thing to look at is renting a room out of someone's house. That is one of the best places to go to look for housing. Oftentimes people are renting rooms out. That is a less expensive way to be able to get your own self into some stable housing, is to rent a room. And people will rent rooms by the month to individuals because they're looking for help with their mortgage or looking help with their rent themselves. Of course, you can always look for someone to rent an apartment with, or somebody who already has an apartment. So that's another thing. Again, you can do a half and half with them and share on the lease.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you, Jeanette. The phone number's there. You can call me and I could get you in touch with Clarissa, or you can go to her website, because she has resources that I'm pretty sure I don't have. And I'm saying that because what she's giving you, though, is that you would go to Riverside County, not the city, to get those type of either the Section 8 voucher or it's the county social services department to get as far as the housing. And I do know also, if it's an emergency situation, Red Cross will help you. I don't know to what extent, but I know that depending on the situation, they'll do a temporary housing. You know about that too, Clarissa?
Yes, there are. There's not only the Red Cross and Salvation Army both have temporary housing, but also there are some private organizations, especially for females. I hate to say it, they do have more for females than they have for males, but they do have them that give you temporary shelter that would put you in a place and get you started. And then it gives you an opportunity to have some breathing room so that you can find your permanent housing, which is, like I said, all the more reason for me to do what I'm doing is to find that permanent housing, because this is a perfect example of someone who needs some place and they can find temporary shelter, but find permanent housing. So I want to be that permanent housing solution. That's what I want to be.
Now, I know too, and I haven't heard recently about Habitat for Humanity. Do you know anything about, is that another, I remember correctly, when you purchase under Habitat for Humanity, there's no interest on those loans.
Those are housing purchasing options. Okay. I'm not very versed in those. From what I remember, and again, this is something you might want to check it out on their website, Habitat for Humanity, is that, yes, they will help you purchase a home. with the understanding that you will help them build the next home. So that's the extent that I know about Habitat
Right.
for Humanity, but it is a good option because they'll help you get a house at a better rate than you would
Right.
get on your own. But I would definitely research them as an option
Mm-hmm.
uh, for housing if you're looking for permanent housing that you outside of something that I outside of renting and if you want to
Right.
own.
All right. Okay, Jeanette. Next we have Denise. Denise says, manifest it, Clarissa. With God, all things are possible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am.
This is stuff. So you look at all this energy, the synergy of this.
I love it.
We all know it's. I mean, it's just a matter of time. It says, write the vision and make it plain.
Yes, yes. And believe me, I have my business plan put together and the vision is in the business plan and I'm ready to go. That it's written.
Oh,
You just gotta
all
make it
right.
plain.
And then we have Richard that says, I was there taking pictures. I have your picture. You have both our picture, Richard. Richard.
Oh, Richard, you have to share. You're gonna have to share it so I can put it on my website.
Yes. Richard. As soon as I get the pictures, I'll put them up. I just finished
Okay.
putting pictures up last night, I think. But
Oh, good.
all of the things that you're talking about, I'm just amazed. And really, please keep us in the loop. My husband, I know when they renovate, sometimes you need volunteers to come, and that makes a difference in keeping the cost down because it's
Oh,
so
yes.
labor is extensive. It is very costly. So let us know if we can come and help or those
Oh,
kind of
thank
things. But
you.
it's gonna happen.
Yes,
I,
ma'am.
it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. And I just want to definitely say to you, we appreciate you. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you because we need people like you that with a vision that says, I'm doing my part. Now, this is what I've learned. I'm sure you have to. I can't do everything, but I can do something.
Something. And
That's
that's the
the
thing, just start. I mean, I really started with no knowledge, no information. I didn't even know what real estate investing was other than the words. And I decided to educate myself. I decided to just take a step out there and just go and see
right.
what happens. I mean, the worst case can happen is I would fall, but I would learn. So, I'm still learning, I'm still
Mhm.
growing. I'm not going to tell you I'm perfect in everything, but I'm not afraid to learn and not afraid to research. And
Wow.
if anybody's out there and they're thinking about making a career change or they're thinking about it, talk to your family first. Talk to God first. Let me
Yes.
start that. Let me
That's,
let me get that right. Talk to God first.
yes.
Talk to God first. Talk to
Yes.
your family next. And
Yeah.
then once you make that decision to make that change, know that your family supporting you because my daughter and my husband are my backbone. I have to give them both a shout out. My daughter Savannah and my husband Curtis, they have been a driving force spiritually and socially and supportive
Oh,
physically in keeping me going and keeping me going. So I love them both with my heart. And my family, my sisters, my natural sisters, my sorority sisters, my NCBW sisters, my church, everybody has just been a real support. Gospel Center, I see you out there. I know you're there. I love y'all. So thank you, everybody. I do appreciate you all.
oh, that is wonderful because we all need support. We
Yes.
nobody does anything by themselves. You may not always see the support, and those of some of you seen Oliver. I'll have him come and stick his head in sometimes. I could not do what I do without Oliver.
Yeah.
And Dave, I'm gonna do a shout out to you because those of you that don't, they see me because I'm the one that's out front, but
Mm-hmm.
he's the one that's behind the scenes. He keeps me going. He keeps things organized a lot better than I do. People don't see that side. So I
Right.
would
Right.
tell you, without our family supporting us, that's what gives us the wings to do what we do. So I definitely want to make sure I let him know. I love you, babe. So, so and we have other comment here. We have Richard says, I was, oh, you were there. I'm sorry, Richard. I saw that you were there taking pictures. And can you get an email from Mary? But
Yes.
yeah, you can. But Richard, she's right there she has her webpage up. And
Yeah.
big ups to Oliver. Oh, I know, huh? He said big ups to Oliver. And it's
Yay.
true. For sure, for sure. I know this has been journey for you. This is a journey. Now, how long ago did you start with was it 2018 for the housing?
So I actually started before. That's when I became officially an LLC and officially started. But I actually started doing my research back in 2017, and it was more laying out the foundation, setting. How do I set up an L? I didn't even know how to set up an LLC. I did. I knew nothing.
Right, right.
Learning how to set up an LLC. Shout out to my baby sister Alicia for helping me with that. She's the attorney in our family,
Uh-huh.
and how to set up, setting up a bank account, setting up a business credit card,
Hmm.
setting up all those little things that you don't think about, because when you're working for somebody else, you just go in, do your job, and go home.
That's
Uh,
right.
you don't get to do that there is no go in, do your job, and go home when you own your business. If you don't
That's
set up a
right.
bank account, you can't.
You can't do
You
no, you
don't set
can't
up a
do
bank
business.
account, you can't do anything.
No. But nobody, and you think about it, nobody tells you all the things you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And that's for me. I'm the one that I like to share information.
Me too.
So if I know there's a small business starting, I said, okay, here's what you need to do. You need to do this, because I learned by trial and error. And
Yeah.
then I had, people saying, did you do this? I'm like, oh, what? And one of the big things is like, when it said, you want to apply for a loan, they said, you have a profit and loss statement. I'm like, a what? A profit and loss statement. I said, oh,
Yeah.
I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Oh, let me figure this out. So
Yeah.
ended up getting QuickBooks, and I'll have to shout out to Intuit because they've been very helpful. They gave me a live expert who helped me figure out how to do a profit and loss statement, and
Yeah.
how to do reports based on the program that I have with QuickBooks. So it's been a learning process, but a good one.
Right.
It's a good one. They say as long as you keep learning, you turn young, you stay young. So I said, okay, I must be really old.
But
Constantly learning.
you had to first be willing.
Yeah.
That's what you were willing. You were willing to learn. You were willing to ask. You were willing to say, I don't know. All of that is what it takes. And if you're not willing, you're not going to do all the things that you just described.
Yes.
You are able to get, like you said, now what do you do when you hear someone starting a business? It's really like you take them under your wing and say, okay, let me show you how to do this.
Let me show you if I can save you a few steps.
That's right.
I always say this: learn from somebody else's errors. If you don't have to make your own, learn from somebody else's. So saves you time, saves you money. I'm willing to do that.
But a lot of people don't know. They really don't. So I appreciate you. And Richard says, he said, oh, I'm wrong. He said, besides your husband and daughter, where did your biggest support come from?
Oh, it really did come from my husband and my family. Like I said, my baby sister, when I first started talking about doing this and started going into real estate investing, she said, well, let me give you this resource to set up your LLC. That's the first thing she did for me. Then I talked to my husband and my daughter have always been like, what do you need me to do? My daughter was trying to help me set up my first website, which was the foundation for my current website. I ended up going to a web developer afterwards,
Right.
but she gave me the starting so I could start kind of thinking about what I wanted on a website so that I could speak intelligently to the web developer.
Wow.
I started going to some educational classes through, just about, learning about real estate through some educational classes and some programs. There's one
Right.
that multifamily. I'm into multifamily units. So
Right.
multifamily units are duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. So, learning about multifamily units, how do they work? How it can benefit me to help these women because I can put two families in one place versus one, and
That's
for
right.
three families or so. Just having all that information. So there's a lot of education. I'd be more than happy to share where I went. If you contact Mary, I'll be more than happy to share that information. But
Yeah.
because I'm an information sharer. I don't believe in hoarding information. I believe in sharing because I want us all to be wealthy. I want us all to have
Yes.
a legacy. I want us all to be able to be millionaires and all of us to be sitting on the same beach in Martha's Vineyard, chilling and having a good time.
I love it. I love it.
All of us.
We have a comment. Jeanette says, "I'm so proud of you two as well, and may God continue to bless your housing ministry. You have
Thank
such a
you.
wonderful heart."
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you. I
isn't
received
that
that.
wonderful? It touches my heart. And this is from Richard. He says, "How long did it take before you realized you knew what you were doing?"
It did take about a year. And the reason being is because I'm an analytical person and sometimes I overthink things.
Mm,
Let's go ahead and tell the truth and shame the devil. I overthink. And so, knowing that I overthink, I probably overthought some things I didn't need to. But it took me
mm,
about a year because I wanted to make sure everything was perfectly in place. I had to have my LLC in place. I had to have this. And it's like I wanted to have everything in place. When in actuality, while I was putting some of those things in place, I could have been doing other, getting going. So
mm-hmm.
it took me about a year to say, okay, and I feel not, that was that government in me. You take care of the foundation and then, but now I understand the entrepreneurial spirit. I'm getting more into that you have to do multiple things at the same time. You
Right.
can't just do one thing. So it took me about a year to get my head together and come out of that um, employee mentality and go into the entrepreneurial mentality.
Okay. I think too, because of, like you said, coming, if you've been, it took me longer than that. When I retired, I was still getting up like I had to go to a job.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did. And I thought about, I said, because for almost 40 years, that's what you did. That's what I knew. So
Yeah.
even though I didn't go to a job, it was still ingrained in me to
Hmm.
get up at a certain time of day. I remember looking at the clock thinking, oh, I would have been teaching this at that time.
Hmm.
I, because that was my, it took a long time for me to come out of that and be okay in a creative environment, creative circle, all those kind of things. So it doesn't happen overnight.
No,
It doesn't.
not overnight.
Uh-huh.
But again, learn from us and understand what you can do is before you even transition out of your job, start getting the entrepreneurial mindset before you even leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that by the time you get out of your job, you're already a step ahead of where I was, and you can move much faster.
That's
Start
good.
thinking like an entrepreneur now.
Well, let me say that before I want to make sure. I know this time there may be someone here right now if they want to start a business. Oh, before I say anything, Zena has a comment before. She said, Zena says, "Hi, Zena." She said, "Hello, Miss Welch. Hello, Miss Way. I am with IEHP. We have a
Hey.
foundation with commitment to Inland Empire Community and its partners. I will reach out to our new IEHP Foundation president, Angelica Balazar." Wow. Ooh, look at that. Look at God.
Look
Look.
at God.
Isn't that
Yes, God is good.
Oh, Zena, thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's big.
That is
Because then
huge. Thank you.
that's IEHP is a new sponsor for the show. So I'm really excited about that.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. So, thank you, Mary. Thank you very much for having me here and introducing me to IEHP. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're
Just like
welcome.
I can speak health planning too because I worked for the Department of Healthcare Services for years and covered California and Department of Public Health. So I know health planning just because I worked that was my former life.
Right, right, right. I can tell you that that's big. A connection like that, I'm excited. I
Yes,
am
that's
definitely
exciting. I
excited
am
about that.
excited.
Wow, 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 wow. I'm still clapping and excited.
I know, me too.
Well, Zena, thank you. Thank you for being on the
Thank you.
show. Just
Yes,
thank you
thank
for
you.
coming and all that information. Thank you to all of everyone, whether you made a comment or not. What I have found, it's taken me a long time to realize this. You don't have to make a comment to support. Your very presence is supporting the show. Just coming to the show means tons. But I didn't know if you have any final comments that you like to encourage people with, Clarissa, this would be the time to do it.
Okay. And I do. I I want people to follow their heart and follow their passion. I said, you have to sometimes you have to take a job because you need to take care of your family, and your family is your passion at that time. But as your family grows and they begin to become more independent, never forget to go back and look at your own passion and go back and follow your heart. Because when you follow your heart, you'll find that you have so much energy and you're so
Yeah.
excited. I mean, I appreciate the comments. People said they can feel my heart through this because they know this is really something that is important to me.
Yeah.
Because I did what I thought was right. I did what I thought was good for my family when I worked for the government, and I loved working for the government. Don't get me wrong. I made great friends, and I got a lot of good information, and I learned a lot of skills working with the government. Believe
Right.
me, I have a lot of skills where I can speak governmentese, I can speak health planese, I can speak different things in different venues.
Right.
But the beauty of it is my passion. My passion to be able to help people stabilize their communities is huge. And so I encourage everyone here to follow their passion. Don't be afraid to step up and trust God. Trust God to take care of you in this process. So I love you all. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, Mary, so much for this opportunity. This means the world to me. This is my first podcast
Oh.
interview, and it was an absolute blast. I
Oh.
thought it was going to be 30 minutes and I wasn't going to have anything to say, but you have made it such an easy process for me. So thank you so much.
Oh.
And I love your show.
Oh, thank you. And I remember, like I said, initially it was supposed to be 30 minutes, but I even said to you, I said, it's going to go so fast, you're not going to believe it's been an hour. And
We
here
do.
we are. And we have comments coming in as we're getting ready to end the show. So we
Yeah.
have, is it Denise?
Denise. Uh-huh.
Denise says, awesome job, Clarissa.
Thank
Wow.
you.
That's so sweet. Didn't she do it? I mean, I couldn't believe this was her first one. I still can't believe that. I'm like, no. Oh, very informative. Thank you, David. Thank you,
You did.
David. David was in Canada. I think he's back now. I think he's with us in I think he's in Tennessee or on the East Coast. I'm not sure, David. You have to help me. And Paula Brown says, amazing. Thank you,
Thank
Paula.
you.
And Sheila says, awesome show. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And then we have another one. Jeanette, before I go, Jeanette says, love you all. Thank you so much for sharing. It's the
Thank
truth.
you.
I'm telling you, ladies, gentlemen, the goal for the Mary D Talk show is that this information go not just to you, but you share it out. Because every time we help one person, I think the universe vibrates because it's not the one person. You're literally affecting a community because all of us know more than one person.
Yes.
So every time you're helping that person, they're helping a person because somebody else is looking at them and saying, oh, they can do that. I can do that. Because didn't someone come on and say they're interested? I think earlier I said there's a lady in Southern California, Ethel Rucker. Ethel, I don't know if you made it to the show. She left a message on Facebook for me. I'm interested in doing what Clarissa Wade is doing. That was this morning. I was sitting there going, wow, already there's an impact. You see, that's what I call it, a vibration, that we're all vibrating in this world. And then we have, I don't want to miss anybody because I know sometimes the show will end and the comments are still coming in. But I want to thank you, Clarissa, for being here today. Um, I just want to thank you for being the wonderful woman that you are, a wife, a mother. You contribute to the community in ways that go up far. I mean, it radiates through this world. Like I said, I met you that night. There were a lot of people in that room, but my energy and your energy.
Yes.
I didn't even know you.
That's true. And that's so weird because you were right around the corner from my mom.
Isn't that something? For years. We've been here almost 40 years.
But see, I left at 18, so I left early in life. So I went away to school, and I just kind of stayed in the Northern California area.
Right.
But it was so good to be able to reconnect with one of my mom's neighbors.
This has been amazing. When we first started talking and figured that out, we were both shocked.
Yes.
The 1 minute we have a comment. Jeanette says, this is the kind of heart Mary has, just like yours. She's concerned about another. Oh, thank you, Jeanette.
Oh, thank you.
And the fact that you know that is saying, and it is. The show is about giving back. How can we give to the community? What can we give that can help someone. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to thank Clarissa again. Thank all of you for being here. I really do appreciate you, but I don't want the system to cut us off, and it will. So God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right.
Have
Take
a
care.
blessed holidays.
Let's see.